Hello, and we're back. We have finished character creation, and we didn't technically go over collaboration, but it was mentioned at least. Is there anything we need to change in collaboration?
I don't think so.
All right. That is fine. If anything comes up, please speak up. All right. So we have a choice to make. In the previous section, in 1867, we were working the day shift, and then night shift phase was for our off duties scenes. We don't have to do it that way. It does make more logistical sense for there to be a night shift crew in 2017 that the show is about. So we could reverse it if we want, but we don't have to. What?
I feel like Phyllis wouldn't want to be home when her kid is home, you know?
Oh yeah, Phyllis is a single mom, so nights would suck for her.
Yep.
So yeah, let's keep it the way it is. In that case, give me just a moment. All right. In that case, let's get some scenes. What do we want? What do we want for an establishing scene introducing these characters? There are a couple ideas that I have, but I am curious if any of you have anything.
I got nothing.
No thoughts had empty.
Okay. There are two things that come to mind for me. One is something that hasn't really shown up a whole lot in deep cuts yet, but I've been curious to have show up is a morbidity and mortality conference. For those not familiar, Morbidity and Mortality, or M&M, is a conference that's done in hospitals where, in a case where a patient dies, sometimes the doctors overseeing the case will present it at Morbidity and Mortality, which is held periodically. And they present what happened in the case, what went wrong, why the patient died, and members of the faculty ask questions and try and pick it apart, like, well, what can we learn from this to better the way that we practice medicine? This is used in a couple of different ways in hospital shows. Sometimes it's used as kind of a dramatic climax, like after a particularly hard case when they lose a patient, and it's framed as if they're kind of like being put on a pillory. It can also be just a more somber moment. I think it could be interesting as an opening scene because it's something that everybody would be here for, even if none of us are presenting. Like, the case being presented doesn't have to be narratively that important. The other option is just a framing scene that's at the beginning of the shift as everyone's coming in. Like, it's a shift change. We're saying goodbye to the faceless mystery people who work the night shift, and we're getting started with our work.
I like the M&M, actually.
Diana's good with either.
Yeah,
Neko,
I'm good
what do
with
you
whatever
think?
as well.
Well,
since Chris seems to be the only
with the
one
majority of one vote, motion passes.
Yeah, it's just like a congressional election in upstate New York.
Wow.
Sorry. The district I live in is kind of fucked.
Yeah, I've heard some fucking stories about Syracuse.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
I've been getting a whole bunch of ads lately about Eastern Oregon seceding from Western Oregon. So
Okay, but Neko,
Wow.
Neko, have you considered that Western Oregon is trampling on their freedoms, actually?
I mean, if Eastern Oregon really wants to leave, that's fine. I just don't know that they're going to do much better with Idaho.
I legitimately don't know who that's worse for.
As a proposition.
Listen, as always, West Coast is best coast.
Incorrect. Anyway,
Hmm. If we could just like take the best parts of the West
Yeah,
Coast and merge it together with the East Coast, except for New Jersey, then
is this
we
the
would be
commercial?
fine.
Is this whole like skit where one guy is wearing like a kind of a cowboy outfit to represent Eastern Oregon, the other one's dressed up as a hipster to represent Western Oregon? It's so funny.
He's really working hard to get the Oregon Trail player demographic.
Wow.
Eastern Oregon is mostly like farmland and like desert,
Yeah.
so it's not wrong. It's just very, very stereotypical on both sides.
Well, as enjoyable as this tangent has been,
Yes, sorry.
let's do a morbidity and mortality conference.
so anyway, death comes for us all.
Is that the end of your speech, Dr. Dillon?
Question. If you're interested in this, Chris, do you want any of the main characters to be presenting?
I don't think I would be presenting, but on account of I don't even
You-
go here. But
Yeah. Let's say that it's some case unrelated to us. It's those stupid night shift people.
I mean,
Killing
we
patients.
we could be like not presenting as such, but like an addendum to a presentation, making a case for our therapy in terms of outcomes.
Let's go for that. Maybe the four of us are sat together because like we're associated with the same department. And as things are proceeding, Dr. Galland starts kind of persistently trying to get attention so he can ask a question, but it's constantly being passed over. Things are starting to boil over. There's a crystal in the center of our. Oh, I see. This is usually done in like a medical auditorium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that could work.
One seat just has the crystal in it between.
No, it's those university
Yeah.
auditorium chairs that have the little desks.
Yeah.
You have a crystal.
You've
on
brought
your
off
desk.
Soul Himalayan salt lamp.
Yeah, it's there so that we can shed light on what's going on and keep the positivity. Because if we're mired too much in the negativity, we're not going to see the truth of what happened.
Love where you're coming
Question:
from.
Is Fran?
Do we need a
is
big
Fran
rock
an
for that
attending?
though?
Is Fran an attending or a resident? Moonlighters are usually at the level of attending position.
Yeah, yeah, that seems about right.
Okay. So I think as you're explaining this to Dylan, Lon just kind of shoots you a look, like a very obvious look of contempt, but doesn't say anything because you're my superior.
And I just give a pleasant smile. It doesn't hurt, it
is.
doesn't harm.
It is occurring to me a flaw with this. Phyllis might not be here because Phyllis is a nurse, not a doctor. Nurses don't usually go to M&M. Unless...
Phyllis is off doing vaccines, like giving people flu shots or something.
Okay. So we have a slight ripple in our introductory scene. Not everyone's here. I apologize for that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Phyllis will get here eventually.
She's doing a good job giving
Yeah.
lollipops and stuff when she gives them their flu shot.
Would
She's
Phyllis be
refilling.
interested, or would it bother her if Fran would not like consistently, but would send her like little text updates about the M&M?
Um, like I don't think
Maybe
she
this
would
is
check it on the job. She would like not be bothered to like look at like I think she'd be fine looking at it during her break.
Yeah,
maybe this is a case that Phyllis worked on or something.
or at least touched. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely giving you a couple, and they're just like very short sentences. Despite the way Fran might come off as being flighty and everything, she knows Phyllis, so that's not going to work on Phyllis. So it would be like, oh, they mentioned this, like
Mhm.
knowing you're not going to check it while you're busy, of course.
I think after a while, the person taking questions finally allows Lon to speak. I think there's probably a visible look of exasperation, like, fine, what is it? Lon stands up and says, considering the appreciable discomfort and pain in the post-op phase before this patient succumbed to Dr. Rosen's mistakes, was it ever considered to try alternative therapies to aid in post-op care? There's some wonderful things being done with ketamine. And he just kind of starts rambling on in a way that I'm not able to summon right now because I'm too tired, too buzzed.
We have a growing body of both current clinical and historical research suggesting that these sorts of like pain reduction in the first 48 hours post-op, et cetera, et cetera.
Lon just looks over to Dylan in a surprisingly collegial way, like, yeah, thank you for having my back, actually.
He cares.
I think Fran was just like nodding, like yes, like not knowing not to interrupt, but like yes, just like I agree. And there's like the very like soft clap that's not loud, but just like being supportive.
As a single doctor's claps resound through the auditorium.
The idea of resounding golf claps is pretty funny, actually.
Hey, those auditoriums are really echoey.
No, I know.
I didn't waste my entire 20s in universities to not notice things. I'm playing this in a slightly more DM-y sort of way, since it's the opening scene, rather than facilitator sort of way. I think the person taking questions and presenting the case, Dr. Rosen, just kind of narrows his eyes at both of us. Says, no, I'm afraid that didn't occur to me. And then just immediately moves on to the next person. Pretends we don't exist, basically. And Lon just kind of sits down, doing his best not to look miffed, but his ego's definitely bruised for not being taken as seriously as he would take himself.
Fran does lean over. I think you did a good job there, that you brought up some good points.
Lon just kind of looks over to you and looks at your rock. Says, don't you have a chakra to align?
Well, if you'd allow me to work on you, I could.
He says nothing and just buries himself in his phone.
She texts Phyllis saying Dr. Lon attempted to give some good advice and was shot down again. But yeah, I think she says that with a smile and just like turns to look at Dylan. And well, do you think we should try and reiterate what Dr. Guyland said? Maybe
It's
if
like,
more than
what-
one person says it, it'll get through.
They know we're with him. It's if you could get
somebody's attention over there, that might work. Hmm. You know how this goes.
Unfortunately.
Look, we'll try again next time. Not we'll get him on the way out.
I think since I'm sitting like right next to you, I do lean over and just say, it kind of hiss at you. It's Galland.
That's what I said.
Forget about it.
Because in her accent, she thinks he's saying it right. It's like Joey trying to know French and friends.
Getting
I
Dr.
don't think-
Guyland some horse divorce.
What?
Or divorce. Now I can't say it right.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, I don't think we need anything more from that scene specifically.
No, I think we set vibes pretty well.
Yeah. Let's get that list of scenes up. I think panning directly from this to a scene with Phyllis would make a lot of narrative sense.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like maybe Phyllis tending to Jake. Does that work for y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
So either it's the weekend or this kid was skipping school to do his Instagram stunt.
Well, no, it's like 4:00
Okay.
on a Thursday.
Yeah, he
He has
was doing
hockey
this on his
practice.
way
Got
home. He was
straight
doing
out
this
of
on his
class
way
and-
home from school.
Got straight out of class, made a beeline for the shopping center.
Yeah.
Gotta get in before all the moms come to.
It's
the
the
Why are
hockey
we-
finals. I've got extra practice this week. I need to come in a little different, right?
While we come up with scenes, I am noticing that we need positive and negative tags for Dylan. If you want to do
Fuck.
that quick.
I knew I was forgetting something.
It's okay. I forgot about it too. Um,
Hang on. You don't have example tags for most of the playbooks, right? I'm just on my own.
I don't. I need to make some up.
That's what
I
playtesting is
apologize.
for.
Exactly.
Getting rid of reputation is for also.
Yeah. Some other scenes we could do.
It would be neat
how
to
do-
see Lon and to see if there's a difference in attitude between. I just realized I'm playing your girlfriend and your rival.
Hey, you know,
The
we
ideal.
work well together. We have a nuanced player-to-player relationship we can do.
Yeah,
So you're interested in seeing Lon and Susan?
yeah. To see like the difference in attitude shift, if any.
Yeah. I was gonna say I really want to see Lon and Dylan in research mode.
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah.
I think that's a good to have after Diana's scene, actually.
I was gonna say have that before the Lon and Susan thing, because then the contrast works a little better. We establish further that I'm a hard ass. Well, not hard ass, that's a different playbook. I'm like really into my job and just like really like okay, we have to be the very best at this, or I will actually die.
All right.
Uh,
I mean, there's literally. I have another idea, but there is literally no point in fighting you on this. It does not matter.
okay. I'm curious about your other idea.
So I think that like having a sort of like a soft beat between two scenes with Lon in like work mode might be better, like might be more effective for showcasing how much he like only cares about the job.
That is a compelling point, actually. Let's do it that way. Yeah. So we've got these 3 scenes. We don't have any scenes with Fran, so we need to fix that. What do you want out of Fran in this
Probably
phase?
to help so that Chris isn't doing 3 scenes in a row, technically, or a couple scenes in a row.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
You could do something with your patient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could either do something with my patient or a short scene with Fran running into her ex.
I like
How
both of
hard are
those.
we leaving Neko out to dry right now? Because I'm looking over the character sheet. I think she's only in one scene.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's why I'm adding Fran and Jai and Fran and Phyllis to the list. We're going to do both of those scenes so that Neko has things to do. Sorry about that, Neko.
No worries.
So let's do Phyllis and Jake because that feels like the most natural thing out of the gate. And we will work on the rest of this list as this is a pretty stacked day shift phase, but we're establishing the characters. So, you know. All right. Phyllis and Jake. Phyllis and Jake.
All right. Okay. Fighting the urge to do Sonic the Hedgehog voice for Jake.
You should definitely do Sonic the Hedgehog voice for Jake.
All right. Let's go.
You're making me so happy right now.
Glad to hear it, buddy.
Yeah, so I think Phyllis is like examining you and saying, you know, you could have gotten much worse hurt than this. You're lucky that it's just a broken arm.
Look, only thing I care about is getting this cast off. I'm losing followers by the hour.
Isn't there anything else you could do to get followers that doesn't put your life in risk?
I am a Fortnite channel. People don't come to me for anything but listen, I'm not gonna explain the finer points of content creation to you. Just what can I do to get this cast off as soon as possible?
Well, you can not do anything stupid like this again.
Not gonna happen.
Well, then I guess you're not going to be in the business for of content creation for long.
All right. Be that way.
Jake, let me tell you something. There are a lot of people who have ruined their lives doing things exactly like this, who have gotten much worse injuries than just that cast on your arm. What do you think would have happened if you had so you know towards the end when you vaulted over the end, fell down on your arm, what do you think would have happened if you had landed on your head or hit your spinal cord?
Get a lot more views.
It'd also probably be your final video because you could either be paralyzed for life or you could be dead. Do you want to be dead at 13? You've probably never even kissed anyone yet, Jake, have you?
Kissed lots of people. And anyway,
Just gives him a look like, I'm sure.
listen, if I'm dead, it's not my problem, right?
Well, don't you think your followers might be upset to see you gone?
Well, most of them are sending death threats, so like probably not.
Jake, can't you think of anything better to do with your time? Why do you want to do something where you're getting death threats?
It's just part of the business. Listen, when this channel really takes off, I'm going to be a millionaire at 17. I won't even have to go to college.
And you do know that for every channel that takes off, there are thousands or millions that don't. What makes you think that you're going to be the exception to the rule?
First of all, those numbers don't account for the fact that most channels don't even leave a comment. Second of all, I'm going to be different because my content is sick and I'm willing to go further than anyone else.
Most people play Fortnite with two hands, right? You think you could do it with one?
No, but that's a great idea for a video.
That's what I was thinking. Challenge mode.
You could
At least
probably-
until your arm is all healed up.
All right. Yeah, I'll think about that.
All right. Well, you are done for today. But we'll need you back here in a week for another checkup.
Yeah,
I'll just let your mom know.
it was. Fuck! I wish I was left-handed.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's.
yeah,
scene.
I think that's the scene.
That
Dang,
was,
I
great.
hate Jake. He's great.
that was excellent. As I said in the private chat, if I've learned anything from the last couple of games I've run, it's that putting Chris in Dude's Rock mode is the funniest shit ever.
You would not believe some of the guys that I have been.
That was very good. Thank you, both of you. I'm looking forward to more.
Phyllis's eternal mom mode.
Yes.
No, the absolute bomb judo of. You think you could do that with one hand though?
I don't know, but that would be a really good video. All right, Phyllis and Jake is done. Do we want to do Lon and Susan or Fran and Jai to give Neko and Chris a break?
We could do Fran and Jai first.
Okay, cool. So let's do that. Why don't you frame the scene, Diana?
Okay. So kind of similar to the first patient in the 1800s, Jai is a repeat customer, shall we say. They're a bit of a hypochondriac, so I think like when Fran shows up into like the room that he's been put in, she has like one of those one of those rolling carts, but it's a specific rolling cart for her, and it has like a whole bunch of like like actual like alternative like non-prescriptive medicine to offer, and then like some of the kookier stuff like the crystals and such. But on the top tray has everything that she's already sorted out that usually takes care of Jai's needs. And I think so. She comes in like humming to herself and everything. It's like, Mr. Vedekar, it's so good to see you again. How are you feeling today?
I don't know, Doctor. I'm just awfully sluggish. Have been for a while.
For a few days or up to a week?
Maybe a week and a half.
Week and a half. Ooh. And she nods and she immediately starts to do like the usual like instead of using a thermometer, she does the hand head check and everything. And it's like, anything else? How has been your appetite?
Fine, I guess. I haven't really noticed much that's changed. I can't figure out what's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why we're here, so we can figure out if it's something, environmental or a food allergy and such like that. And she'll pull out his chart and go, last time you had body aches. Do you have body aches this time?
Yes, especially in my joints. It's awfully difficult to get out of bed some days.
And she nods, and I think well, let's try the usual. Do you mind some aromatherapy to start with?
I suppose it can't hurt.
Exactly. And she'll choose like something that's supposed to like help relax muscles, like the scent and such. I think lavender is one of those. And it's not like it's one of those oil types, so it's not like, burning incense or anything like that, but it's just like it slowly diffuses into the air. And let me bring, despite the way she is, she does try to assess. So let me bring up the document to do card draw.
Excellent.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
And I think while she's setting these things up, she's also very much just like talking and like asking him like the usual kind of questions, like how's been your day, has the routine, when you are able to get up, and such. There it is. Challenge rules. So I'm wondering, do you think it would be something more of like Jai mentioning something that's actually more specific to an issue, so that would be heart, or it would be more of just, it's usually clubs, right?
Let me pull up the document myself, actually.
Yeah.
There we go.
Or would it be spades?
If you're trying to do diagnostic tasks, that usually would be spades.
Okay.
So you're trying to diagnose an issue, and that would be a spade task.
Okay, yeah. So through the conversation, I'd be trying to like see what it could be, if it's something that she actually could do, or if she has to refer her to like one of the others.
Let's say it's something you probably can suss out yourself.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the difficulty at 3 because of Jai's complicated medical history. Jai is honestly not that helpful in describing what's wrong with him.
Right.
Because he's just kind of freaked out by everything.
Okay.
Um,
And
so
I feel good about using one resolve token to knock that down to a 2.
excellent. So let me go ahead and shuffle. All right. Go ahead and draw. You need 2 spades. King of clubs.
Diamond.
6 of diamonds.
Man. And then once more, right?
Yeah, 1 more and you fail.
Ha!
All right, that is a failure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So, as you've been trying to assess, Jai has just kind of been rambling on and on and on. There's just this wall of information.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to pick out details. Like, Jai mentions, oh, well, like, it seems like it gets worse when it rains. And, like, well, I wonder if it's something that I ate. Like, I had some almonds recently, and I love almonds, but isn't it weird how they make your mouth feel tingly? And
It's possible, and yeah, I think it goes over our heads, unfortunately, that allergic reaction. So she goes with, it could be maybe they weren't washed properly, or maybe your stomach digestion is working differently. So I'm going to recommend some teas for you to have before and after meals. And if in a few days nothing seems to improve, I would like you to come back.
that sounds fine. I'll come back in a couple of days if it doesn't improve.
If it gets worse before then, come back sooner, of course.
Yes, doctor. Thank you. And Jai just kind of turns over in his bed, looking not terribly comforted. Thank you for letting me know about the keyboard. I will be more careful about that.
It was always that loud, Chris. You just noticed that? I'm used to it though. But
Yeah, no, I think it's because I have a new audio setup. It has become more of a problem.
Good to know. Thank you. But also, as I mentioned in the chat, yeah, that almond thing actually happened to my sibling. He was in conversation with someone who was trying to say, I love almonds, but isn't it annoying how they make your mouth all tingly? And the friend group just got really quiet. Someone had to say to him, almonds don't do that.
yeah.
Very, very similar thing happened with me in color blindness, where I was like, I love eating apples because you never know. Like, some of them are sour, some of them are sweet, and there's just no way to tell the difference.
Oh no.
I don't mean to laugh in a mean way.
No, but it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Are the colors on the play doc good for you, by the way? I didn't know you were colorblind.
I have a color inverter set up on my browser, so they're actually fine.
Okay. Excellent.
I do this specifically.
Yeah, how I learned I had an allergy to saffron and cardamom was like, I get a little, like, my heart races a little bit and I feel a little lightheaded, like as if I had some alcohol. That's weird, right? And they're like, that's an allergic reaction. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The worst one that I've encountered is a buddy of mine had a citrus allergy. And that sucks because citrus does kind of make your tongue feel tingly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if it's sour citrus.
Yeah. Like,
So-
I hate lemons.
Yeah,
Turns
I
out.
do think that Fran will make a bunch of notes. So she's very thorough in listing everything he had said. So even though if she obviously got it wrong, it's like, okay, just in case if he comes in and she's not working, they have that information.
Okay. Are you okay with pivoting to Lawn Susan now?
Yeah,
looking at the remaining 3, and that feels like the natural one to go to.
yeah, I'm good with
Okay,
that.
let's do that. Did you have any particular ideas for the scene?
Not necessarily, just like either he's coming there to actually do research and, it's just the plus that she's working that shift or something like that.
I think that works fine. Like, I'm there to try and get some literature we need for the study, and our eyes meet across this crowded room. All right, so Lon enters the library and is still very much in body language, in work mode,
Hmm.
standing in an almost kind of defensive posture, strutting around the library to find exactly what he needs. And he turns a corner and sees you at the desk, and everything kind of changes. He stands a little bit straighter, holds his head a little bit further back so his hair falls back, and just looks at you in a much more familiar way than he does with his coworkers.
And she immediately like kind of like perks up a bit and clears her throat and and she kind of just like waves like I think it's still maybe in the puppy phase, like like does a little silly wave, um, and then does the beckon motion.
Law does his best to come thither in a way that doesn't like really give away to everyone else in the library that we're a thing, because I don't think we're publicly a thing yet.
No, that would make
Um,
sense.
So I just make my way to the circulation desk and
Dr.
make my
It's
way
Galland,
to
correctly pronounced, right?
Galland.
Yeah. She, of course, always says it properly. So as you approach, it's like, Dr. Galland, it's a pleasure to see you in the library.
It's been too long, Miss Cusel.
It has been, but we're both very busy. However, and she'll like lean down like behind the desk and everything, open up a drawer and pull out a very small stack of like recent research journals already tabbed and annotated, and and hands it to you, hot off the press.
This is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
And she leans forward, like with the like her elbow on the table and her like holding her chin, and she grins. Of course, as a librarian, I'm supposed to know what every of my patrons needs.
Well, I can't deny the impression that I'm getting that you put in just a little bit of extra effort for me. He says as he kind of leans over the desk,
Mm-hmm.
looking down at you.
And she definitely flushes, even though she's trying her best to look like calm and cool and collected like a librarian. There's like that hint of like wanting to giggle, like this is fun.
Mhm.
Well, I figured make your workday a little easier. That way you can get back to your patients, right? And if you get back to your
There's a beat a
Mhm.
little bit longer than it should be. It says, right, yes, my patients.
And
He
I think
takes the stack of journals from you kind of
Yeah.
slowly, as if he doesn't entirely want to take it right now, because that means that our interaction will conclude.
hmm And I think she maybe to the outside it would look like she's just tapping remember to bring it back, but she's technically tapping the top of your hand and everything. And
Mhm.
and as she says, and the quicker you tend to your patients, the quicker you can finish your shift. Maybe you'll align with someone else's shift ending.
It's possible. He just kind of, as he starts to get up from leaning over the desk, he whispers in your ear, "I don't work tomorrow."
And she just kind of has to put a hand over her mouth to stop the grin. Well, she can't stop the grin, but to hide the grin. Oh.
As he gets up to leave, he just turns and says, "I'll be in touch if there's anything else I need, Miss Kuso."
And she says, "Well, I am always here at your service," and watches you leave.
Incredible. I think that's scene.
All right. Do we want to cut straight to Dylan and Dr. Guyland?
I was gonna do Phyllis and Fran next, if that works.
That
for
is
everyone.
cool too. I just think that
I'm
the
doing a
immediate
third
cut
scene
to
in a
what
row.
the hell took you so long?
The immediate cut
Funny.
would be good. It's up to what people want.
I am up for anything.
I'm up for whatever as well.
Let's do
All right,
the
let's
immediate.
do their scene first.
Oh, all right. Sure.
Huh?
You kind of convinced me.
We need to agree.
We will do their scene first.
I'm extremely uncomfortable with the amount of power I have over the scene order of this session.
No, you're fine. I promise. It's not that you have power over it. You just are bringing good ideas to the table, and you're selling me on those good ideas,
And
which is perfectly fine.
and the rest of
And-
us are okay with.
And the rest of us are perhaps too flexible.
Please
Yeah.
have an opinion. Fight me a little bit.
I refuse.
Never.
I'll have an opinion tomorrow when we play Sita.
That's good. This will be fine.
But also, from a televisual standpoint, this does feel like a point when the camera would shift to some other characters.
Yeah, no,
to me.
definitely.
So, all right, Fran. Also, we get two maybe spicy scenes right next to each other, which is kind of neat.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a particular idea. Do you have possible an idea, Neko?
I do not.
Mm,
I am very no thoughts head empty today. I apologize.
That's okay. It happens. Let's see. Maybe it's just a simple both in the break room kind of
Sure.
run in. Fran hasn't seen you. Yeah, she does text pretty often. Not to an annoying state, but
And
often enough.
only about work things, I would assume, because I don't think. Well, I mean, if you want to text about other things, we could then have a conversation about that. Because I don't know that Fran would be up for that. So that could be an interesting thing for a scene if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I think it's 90% work, and then once in a while it's look at this squirrel that was outside, kind of thing. Or I just got this new crystal, but majority of it is work, yeah. And so maybe it's again, running into each other in the break room, and it would be Nurse Phyllis, or would it be? What would be your title official?
I don't know. So, I think Nurse Jones, but
It would be Nurse Jones, but among coworkers, you probably would call each other by your first names, unless things were a little more stiff and formal between the two of you for some reason.
for some reason.
Yeah. I think she would say Nurse Jones. Sometimes she'll slip and say Nurse Phyllis. But yeah. Um and so like as she's coming into her room, she's texting somebody else, not you luckily, this time. And it's like, "Oh, Nurse Jones. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you. Well, we've both been busy the past few days. How have you been?"
Dr. Santos, I've been fine.
Did you see the new crystal? Did you like the new crystal I sent you? The picture, she means. Now she didn't actually send you a crystal.
Yeah, and I think like Phyllis kind of purses her lips and says, Dr. Santos, I'm not entirely sure that it's appropriate for you to be sending me personal messages.
Oh, well. And she like thinks about it. It's technically work related. I mean, it's related to the hospital.
Yeah, and Phyllis does not look convinced by this argument. She's not up for this crystal stuff.
Hmm. But she kind of clears her throat as she's like looking now back at the messages, like how many non-work pictures did I send you? You know, it's like it's still a little inordinate amount, but again, not necessarily in the to aggravate you kind of way. Well, sometimes it's nice to have another opinion. Of course, I could just send it to my colleagues, but then they would all agree, and you've always been sensible.
Well, if you would like my sensible opinion, while I think the crystals are very pretty, I also think that they're exceedingly expensive, and that to suggest to patients that they have healing powers not only risks patients trying to take their care into their own hands and out of ours, but risks them wasting quite a bit of money that they may not have.
I don't, and she's like, I know that was the business I used to do before back in, and she was like, do I say college? Like, when we first met each other, but I don't actually encourage them to sell. I get some of these and I let them borrow them to see if there's any help. Sometimes it's a little bit, yes, of the placebo effect, but there has been mentions of like certain crystals and stones having some properties, and I always supplement with actual medicine, especially if I know the what their issue is.
I just worry that a lot of the people who get into these types of fads try to do so because they may not have health insurance, and they may think that going outside of the medical system is more cost effective. And while some of the solutions offered might be cheaper than some of our treatments, they are not as likely to work.
And she nods and she's like, and it's not like the first time she hasn't heard this argument from other places. Usually a lot more ruder than than the way you're saying it. You're saying it very pragmatically and everything to her. It's like, yes, I definitely understand that, and I do acknowledge that there is an issue and a worry that so many either are afraid to come to the hospital or because they're afraid of doctors or they're afraid of having to pay for the rest of their life. But at least this is a way to sort of edge them in, and that's what I'm trying to hopefully showcase. And with my research, see where we can find a middle ground.
I will be completely honest. I just don't see how your methods are going to solve problems like the cost of healthcare. I think there are other. I think it would be more beneficial to, if you have extra free time, to perhaps spend it fundraising or on any number of other things if you really want to help.
And, well, at least the hospital does believe in it, otherwise I wouldn't be here. We do have to try to how would you say this? Expose ourselves a little bit and try different things while there's still the possibility to try different things and see what we can ground up, I guess. And she's like, and you can tell this is a little bit of her sometimes forgetting like the right words to use.
Mhm.
But I do always appreciate your expert and professional opinion.
And I think she just like looks at her watch and says, "Well, I believe that's my time to be getting back on the floor."
And she nods and is like, of course. If there's ever anything you need, Phyllis, and she'll say that softer so that's not like, louder. For I am always around to hear.
Dr. Jones, if you please. Neither of us have been in college for many years. She's gonna walk out of the room.
Excellent.
Good scene. I'm imagining Fran just standing there wondering, why did she call me Dr. Jones?
Oh, I meant to say Nurse Jones.
No, you're fine.
Oh.
All right, that was a very productive day shift. Is there anything more we want in this phase, or are we good to move on to the night shift phase?
I think work shift. I think night shift is fine
All
at
right,
this stage.
very good. Excellent. What do we want to see in the night shift?
Oh wait, we didn't have the.
Oh no, yeah, we have one more scene. We have
We have
Lon
one
and
more
Dylan.
scene.
Yeah, thank you for. Yeah, I remember that at the same time you said something. Yeah, so let's do Lon and Dylan.
All right. So I assume you're coming into the not operating room, but like I don't know where. Presumably, you have an office, right?
I
A workstation.
I probably have an office that is big enough for another resident, and so I've had to make room for you. Yeah.
Do you think
So
Long
I
Island
finally
is the
get
kind
there.
of guy that? Do you think Long Island is the kind of guy that locks his door whenever he's not in the office? So I've just been waiting outside.
I think Dr. Galland has been locking his office when he's not there because you moving in is a fairly recent thing, and he hasn't adjusted to it fully yet. So, yeah, I think you have been waiting outside the office for a while.
Cool.
As Lon approaches, his body language is still kind of in romance mode, still getting back into work mode, but his head is still in the library.
He's still got the ponytail down.
Yeah, the hair is still down. uh, so he approaches and gets to the office and kind of doesn't notice you there at first. He's just bringing stuff in.
Hey there, hotshot. What took you so long?
Then he snaps out of it and looks down at you. So I'm imagining that Lon is kind of abnormally tall. He's like 6'5" or something.
Yeah, no, Dylan has short king energy. You're correct.
Yeah. Looks down and Pierce. There you are. He just kind of hurriedly puts the ponytail back up.
Who's got you all hot and bothered? It's not one of the librarians, is it? What do you even talk about? Books?
I took my hair down because I didn't want to get knots in it. Relax.
I think, well. All right, let's get to work.
Anyway. So I found a couple of interesting studies from the EU that could be helpful for developing our methodology.
All right, let me have a look.
He hands you a stack of papers that are mostly in Swedish and German.
Can you read these?
I can read the German. I'm working on getting someone to translate the Swedish ones.
How did we even? I didn't think we had access to non-English language sources. Seems like a massive oversight for whatever.
WorldCat's a wonderful thing, Pierce.
Guess I'm still learning the tricks of the trade. All right, my uncle's Swedish. Give him here. I'll see what I can do.
Galland looks at you skeptically, then starts dividing them up and passing them to a pile on your desk. All right. How recently Swedish is your uncle?
Well, you know, Swedish.
He glances down at the pile he's created on your desk and takes the last one off the top and puts it on his desk. All right. Let me know what he comes up with.
Oh, God, now I have to do more jargon. All right, if I'm reading these charts right, half of these are exclusively for senior citizens, and the other half is a narrow-banded study on patients with epilepsy. Somewhat outside of our case, don't you agree?
They're at the fringe of where we set the scope for this, but they could be methodologically useful.
Well, let me know when the translations get here. Until then, there's nothing. There's really nothing we can chef up out of this.
Wait, I thought you said your uncle was going to translate them.
What? What? You thought I was serious?
I don't joke around with translation, Pierce.
Why not? Swedish is so funny.
He just kind of glances at you as if the two of you are from entirely different planets.
No,
I'll be
my
sure
Uncle
to
Sven
mention-
is from Minnesota.
I'll be sure to mention how funny Swedish is the next time I watch one of their plays.
What, like the one with the guy, the funny-looking guy playing chess on the beach?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that one's a laugh riot, let me tell you.
How are things coming along with getting through IRB? Have you heard anything back yet?
I don't even know what that means. I, Chris, do not understand that
Inst-
sentence.
IRB stands for Institutional Review Board. It's something that I don't know if it applies in a medical context, but if you're doing research with human subjects, it has to pass an institutional review board to get approved for you to do this research with human subjects.
I mean, it's probably much harder for medical studies, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, they might not call it IRB, but there's a similar process.
Yeah.
Like
That's-
the study cannot begin without that approval.
Okay, then let us talk about. Well, then we must have it, right? Because we're already. I guess not. If this scene is happening,
We could.
but
we
anyway,
could.
let's
We
let's
could be
decide
in
on
the
a
early
name
stages
for our third party whose research study this actually is. That sounds like the kind of thing he'd be doing.
Yeah. All right.
she,
In a
or
medical
they.
context, in a medical context, it's also called a research ethics board. So we could be in the early stages where we're still putting literature together to make our case to IRB, like to justify why this research is merited.
Yeah.
So let me rephrase the question in that point. Lon asks, have you heard back about when our date with the ethics board is?
Our last one got rescheduled.
I'm sure they have good reasons, but I can't help but feel that they're giving us the runaround.
Supposedly it was for kids with cancer, but isn't it always?
Yeah, those damn sick kids.
Oh, that was almost a joke, Doc.
I
You meant
never
it,
joke.
didn't you?
I never joke about sick kids, Pierce.
And Pierce will just look at you. I mean, I think this is I think that's actually a good place to stop.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop as well.
All right, good scene. Great
Before
job,
we go-
everybody.
Yeah,
Night
before
shift.
we do a bio break and then night shift, I just want to say, Diana, I'm glad that you understood my Third Rock reference that I made in Story
Third Rock
Viewers.
was one of the best shows when I was growing up.
Yes, I'm really glad somebody got that because that is the energy that I feel that Lon and Susan have. Just suddenly everything changes and it's Lon, Susan.
Exactly.
All
Two
right.
characters so in love they change the genre of the show they're in.
Exactly. Whenever Lon and Susan are in a scene together, this turns from ER into Grey's Anatomy.
Sax starts playing in the background.
Exactly.
Cool. Dylan plays sax now. This is going to be a sight gag. I do at some point.
I hope so. I look forward to it. Let's do a 10-ish minute bio break.
Yeah, that sounds
That
good.
works.
Sounds good.
See you then.
Thank you.
It seems we are all back.
I've been here the whole time.
All right, wonderful. So, what do we want to see in the night shift?
I would love to see a family dinner.
That would be great.
Okay, Phyllis and Aiden family dinner.
I assume Dylan's there too.
Yeah, we established that, right?
Right. Thank
Unless
you.
for some reason you're living with us but not eating dinner with us.
That would be weird if we were also dating.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that Dylan was working late if we wanted to do that, but
No, I would,
No,
I
I
would
just
love
I
to
want,
see
I want
Dylan's
family
dynamic.
dynamics.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dylan's dynamic
that's
with
important.
my 14-year-old son.
I'd like a Fran and Echo scene, but I was thinking more it would be either like on the they don't actually see each other yet, so it's either like on the phone or like like the equivalent of an online chat room scene.
Epistolary. Which we do technically have, right? Still?
Yes.
Yes,
It can be
But
emails and
it can be texts, it can be emails, it could be lots of things. I'm tempted to do another Lon and Susan thing just because Lon doesn't seem to have a lot to do in the night shift. So I'm going to add that to the list, but like there's an asterisk. Like if we don't feel we need to, there's enough other stuff in the phase, we can skip it.
yeah.
And that covers all of our main cast. So I think we could probably just go with those 3 scenes for the night shift.
Yeah.
What do we want to see first?
What do you plan to like? What are your goals for the Fran and Aiko scene? What's going on there?
Diana?
Sorry, I was getting a DoorDash. I suddenly have developed extreme tooth pain, and so I DoorDashed some Orajel.
I
Good
hope
luck.
it
That's
helps.
terrible. Yeah.
I haven't had something like this in a very long time, so I'm like,
Oh, okay. Well, fingers
But-
crossed.
yeah. So I didn't hear the question.
What do you want to happen in the Fran and Aiko scene?
Just establishing like their friendship and just having.
Sorry, I'll mute.
No worries.
Phone fell out of my pocket.
Just just establishing their friendship and possibly like future moreship, and him being like just there for like an ear for her, because I think she's going to be a little bit sad about the interaction that happened with Phyllis. Like she's like, I get it, but considering that her whole desire at the moment is convincing Phyllis that she's a different person now.
Okay, I can work with that. Thank you.
So yeah, so we're doing that scene first.
Sure.
Okay. Did we want to do it as a phone call or as like an online chat room?
Feels like phone call is more on brand
Okay.
for a non-epistolary scene.
Okay, yeah. Um, so let's do it like in the middle of the conversation. So I think she's just finished talking about like she doesn't know or realize that Lon dislikes her. So she just finished talking about the M&M and everything, and it's just like it would just be nice if they'd actually listen to him because he does have good ideas, but he's always a little prickly afterwards. I tried to reassure him.
There is a thin line between the cutting edge and malpractice. I think people are right to be skeptical of this kind of thing.
I know, and I mean, as we both know, there's a history of medical malpractice and get rich quick schemes and such. But I'm trying to make a difference, like you are, right?
I'm trying to get paid. Any difference I make is gravy.
True, but you're not faking, your results.
Really hard to fake an arrest.
And she laughs a bit. It's like, that is very true. I mean, it would have to be very elaborate to fake something like that. It'd be like almost like one of those Oceans movies.
What movies?
Oceans. And I think she misremembers like Ocean's 11. It's like with the thieving and the art and art stuff. Or was it a casino? I think it was a casino.
With Daniel Craig? No, that was a NASCAR thing, I think. I don't know, I barely remember.
And she's like, well, there was that, and then I tried talking to Phyllis again. Well, Nurse Jones.
Oh, here we go.
I was just ran into her, because we're busy, and she's very busy, and well, she seemed to be okay with me texting her. Of course, it was work related, but it wasn't always work, and it's nothing, scandalous or anything. Just pictures of, the animals around the hospital.
Francisca?
Yes?
What did you send her?
It's just a new crystal I got. Nothing racy, like I said. Mhm.
And you sent her how many messages in a row?
Well, I let her know about what happened at the M&M today. I knew she wasn't checking in until later, of course, but she was more annoyed about the photos.
Photos? Plural.
The crystal. Well, there's this squirrel. She kind of goes into like a couple-minute tangent about like this adorable squirrel that keeps hanging out like in the center courtyard.
You should be sending me those photos, not your ex. We've been over this.
I could send it to you right now. And,
You should, but please stop. I know it's hard to put space between you when you're working in the same department at the hospital, but
it just
you're
we
a
haven't
grown
seen.
woman.
I know, but it just feels like fate or something, We hadn't seen each other since college, and then suddenly
She moves to a major metropolitan area and works at a mid-tier hospital that happens to be have one of the largest hiring pushes for nurses in the city. Yeah, fate.
I mean, I was just as surprised as she was when we first ran into each other. And well, and she kind of sighs and like, I just want her to know I'm a different person now. And even though it still seems like I'm not the different person with, these alternative practices and such.
All right, well, then let's start at Remind me, why did you two break up?
And she kind of like laughs a little. I was very much more of the get rich quick kind of. Well, not really get rich because I'm already rich. Get famous quick with, you know, putting stones on your body and drinking certain types of water to heal. And she is a very much serious about medicine person. And I just,
Here you are, badgering her for attention. Just like the old days, huh?
and she's pouting, although you can't tell. Well, maybe you might be able to tell through the phone. It's like,
I know I'm being harsh with you, but this is... If you want to show her that you're a different person now, then show her. Don't tell her. Don't text her pictures. Act like the person person you keep insisting you are. And I know I'm being harsh, but it's because I love you. You know that.
yes, I do. And that's why I tell you these things, so, because I trust your opinion.
Good. Then
All right.
what if we...
I'll go ahead.
No, you first.
I'll do my best to keep that in mind and send only you the pictures of the squirrel and the crystals and some kid running through the parking lot with a, I don't know where he got the shopping cart from.
Sorry, what now? But I think that's seen.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Whether or not that's the same kid, we won't know.
There's an epidemic.
Oh no.
There's been a spree.
Look, if you do this stunt, you get a cool cast that people can sign, and then you can do other challenges like the one hand challenge.
Social media has a body count. Anyway, now I guess
I think
family
this is a
dinner.
good time for the family dinner. Yeah. So Neko, do you want to frame the scene?
Yeah, so I think Phyllis is like the type of person who does home cooking, but she does it by like making meals that will freeze well because she doesn't always, and then like doing a whole batch on her day off and like putting it all in the freezer, and then we have one of these unfrozen meals, reheated meals. But I think like she's a fairly good cook, and it's just making use of what she has time for, basically, trying to do her best by her family, and so I think she's also like very much insists on, okay, we're gonna come to the dinner, and we're all gonna sit at the table as a family, and this is going to be a no phone time. So at just kind of quality time, and basically she's trying to do her best to like make time for her son and like be in his life and such.
All right. So I guess we're just at the dinner table on.
Yeah.
I think Aiden is clearly kind of annoyed at how this stuff from the freezer cycle means eating a lot of the same stuff again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's fairly unenthusiastic about his meal, but is not saying anything about it.
How was school today, Aiden?
Just whatever.
And your homework's all done?
Yes, God, my homework is done.
Very good.
How's that science project coming?
Aiden just kind of shoots Dylan a look, like, "Why are you asking about my science project?" Then pauses, takes a meaningful bite of whatever we're eating, and says, "It's going fine."
Have you been up to anything exciting lately? Any of those events happening in Fortnite right now?
We're on the off season, Mom. Waiting for the next season pass to come out.
All right, I wasn't sure because I did see someone in with a Fortnite-related injury today, so...
Really?
Fortnite's just a video game, Mom. It's probably someone being stupid.
Yes, it was. Apparently it was recreating some sort of stunt from the game.
Oh, is this the shopping cart kid?
Aiden is starting to get interested, but is not really trying not to visually indicate his interest.
Yes, this is the shopping cart kid. Of course, I can't give exact names, but he, for privacy reasons, but he does tell me he's a content creator, so if you really want to find out, I'm sure you can.
There's a brief glint in Aiden's eyes, but he just kind of digs more into his casserole instead of saying anything.
I'm glad you're too smart to do anything like that, Aiden.
Yeah, because you won't let me get the phone I want to film videos.
Aiden, what have we said about talking back?
If you can't say anything out loud, keep it to yourself.
And I didn't exactly mean the content creation. I meant doing something so stupid just to make people like you that you would get injured. I would hope you're not doing anything like that.
Yes,
I think you're smarter
Mom.
than that.
Yes, Mom, I understand. We talked about peer pressure in health class.
All right, good. Yeah, and I think she just like kind of...
He just kind of looks up at you meaningfully after, like, "Can I go now?"
Take your distance sink and wash it off, please, and then you can go.
Fine. Okay, now that's safe.
I kind of want to keep going.
Oh God.
I kind of want a little like.
Yeah. You could keep going, just the two of you after I leave. That'd be fine.
I think there's room for a little like button on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, go for it.
I think he's warming up to me.
I mean, it's hard for him. He wasn't so young when his father died that he doesn't still remember him.
I mean,
It's so hard to explain things to kids that age. I know that this is like, I'm not trying to. This wasn't even supposed to happen like this.
I know. It's just hard to convince him of that.
Hell. Well, no way out but through. Just gotta keep trying.
Honestly, he's at an age where he doesn't want to listen to me either, so. I don't know, I thought. You are closer to his age than I am.
Yeah, I'm only twice his age.
I think she kind of laughs at that.
I mean, I remember what I was like at 13. I was a god dang menace.
Oh, don't let him hear you say that you remember what you were like at 13. He's 14. He'll get offended at that.
Right? Sorry. That reminds me, I still need to get him a birthday present, don't I?
Yes, you do.
I'll try and pick something up before on my lunch break tomorrow. Don't let me forget.
I'll remind you.
You're the best.
You hear from upstairs, Mom, can you reset the router? I'm trying to watch the new Markiplier.
I got it.
Thanks.
And that scene.
It's the latest Five Nights at Freddy's lore.
Fuck. This is a
I am-
personal attack.
I'm a
Right?
little uncomfortable with how well I embodied that character.
No, it's Roz, let me be the one to tell you. It's so easy. I don't know
It
what
is,
this says
yeah.
about either of us, but it's very easy to remember to be 13.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow you can also be 13, just in the 1870s if you so choose.
I have plans. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
One fear.
A kid with attitude and pleurisy.
I promised you a weird little magic kid. I have plans.
Oh, I'm looking forward
Oh
to
god. Chris in urchin mode. Sounds like something I gotta see.
this.
No,
There
that's
is.
Enchanted Society.
Ah.
I mean, if you really want to be urchin mode, there is even an orphan background in Sita now. So
No, I'm looking more at well, I'm torn between Ringleader, Dreamer, and Scamp.
they're all good.
They're all good.
Wonderful. Let's do Lon and Susan.
Okay.
I think a good way to frame this is that I have showed up at your apartment,
hmm
and I end up entering the building at the same time that you're like getting your mail or something. So I'm coming up from behind. And as the camera's panning, you see again his body language kind of change into on the work mode. I'm gonna need to remember to wear a ponytail for every session now. Damn. And like from behind you, you just hear Susan.
And I think she just startles just a bit. It's like, oh, turns around, and she almost, because she's used to, when at the hospital and everything, to say doctor, and she's like, Lon. She smiles because she doesn't have to say doctor now.
Just a moment, sorry.
No worries.
I've been looking forward to seeing you tonight.
Yes,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
Chris. And she smiles like, I've been looking forward to that same. And I think she just like gives a bit of a wink, and as she has her mail, she just starts walking towards the elevator.
Lon waits for a moment and then follows behind you. Almost as if to create more distance between you so that you have to wait for him.
Mm. I think she does. She does so by the elevator door opens and she's just leaning against there so the door can't close.
Lon steps behind you to get into the elevator and kind of brushes a finger against your shoulder as he passes you. How was work today?
Oh, it was very good. It's always such a delight to work for the library. And as she comes in and presses the right floor number, and she kind of just purposely leans on the wall across from you in the elevator, as she's just pretending to flip through her letters where she's not looking at them at all. I also had one of my favorite patrons come in today.
How exciting. Tell me more.
They're doing some interesting research, so I'm always happy to find the latest news regarding it, and they do such meticulous work. It's always fascinating to see how their brain works.
I'm confident that you provided the most helpful service that you're able to.
Always. And how was your day? It did seem that it wasn't all happy surgeries.
Not as much time in the OR as I would have liked, unfortunately. A lot of crunching and grinding to get this literature review together.
I'm sure it's going to pay off soon.
Hopefully so. I am told that patience has a habit of paying dividends.
And she nods, especially when you're thorough in what you do. But then again, you're thorough in everything you do, aren't you, Lon?
Meticulous attention to detail is one of my finer qualities.
And I think she quotes something from I'm sure there's famous medical journal quotes that people do, and it was one of the first things that when they first met that's related to being an attentive medical practitioner. As the elevator door opens to the floor and she saunters outwards.
Lon stays a minute, just kind of because he enjoys watching the way Susan moves, and then steps out of the elevator behind her. I think that's a good place to end the scene, unless you had more.
No, that's it. It's nice to see it's Lon.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to play the two sides of Lon. Neko, I see your comment. While you're technically correct, the best kind of correct, I still say I'm an artist. Let me weave my art.
No, I love it.
You're
Incredible.
pitched so perfectly to Grey's Anatomy too.
And the weird thing is, I haven't watched Grey's in ages, but it's just living in my head.
No, it's got like a rhythm to it though.
Yeah, it really, really does.
I kind of think of
me
her.
calling the flirting nerdy is not an insult.
I know.
I have my biggest literary crush of all time is on the character who in a Louisa May Alcott novel who the bookworm childhood role was based on when he was a kid. And then he grows up to be just as nerdy and also super hot. So
But yeah, I'm kind of emulating her. If you've seen the more recent Pink Panther movies, as the secretary, she's not an idiot, but she's
I love this game.
yeah, she's not an idiot. She's very smart, but she's just like very like and not French. I'm obviously not playing her as French either, but it's just that kind of flightiness.
Yeah, this pairing is going to be fun. I'm really excited about it. How are we doing for time? We got 15 minutes left. Let's do a quick reputation and a quick rumor and scandal. And then we could do 24/7 epistolary. That works for people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Reputation. Chris, this is a good time for you to pick your initial too.
Fuck. Fuck.
It's okay, man.
I promise I care.
Just like Dylan said to Aiden, I promise I care. Oh, man.
Sorry. Mom's New Boyfriend energy is my absolute favorite thing to play. So thank you, everyone, for this opportunity.
Yeah, and as I said in the private chat, Jake Masters feels a lot like Thatcher Cruz before the blockchain.
Oh yeah, no, that kid. I hope he's all right now, but who knows?
That kid like invented Bored Apes or some shit.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
God.
that kid either made $200,000
or is broke living in his mom's basement.
well, he's 16.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait,
He's
wouldn't he be
one of those
19?
guys trying to break
He
into
would be-
Mr. Beast's compound.
He would be
in North
19. He
Carolina.
would be 19 now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Fuck time. It keeps
Yep.
on ticking.
It
I
sure
think
does.
Lon is going to get a negative tag because Dylan is starting to pick up on possibility that there's something going on with me and a librarian.
Under the table, Dylan has absolutely no idea that this is occurring.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but like
He's just trying to get you.
yeah. I'm gonna give him the negative tag distracted. Because
Because yes,
that seems to be what's going on.
I don't think I get any tags. I haven't really pushed either positive or negatively with donor, which I'll have to think about more for next session.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I might get a positive tag for find a work-life balance that allows more time with your family and assisting on the family dinner.
Yeah. And being like typical slightly naggy mom.
That's the entire energy that I want to bring to this character, Mom.
And you're doing great.
Thank you.
Rumor and scandal.
Whimsical as a negative tag is kind of interesting to me. I like
Yeah, but I cannot think of a positive tag to save my life right now.
positive
Innovative.
tag. You could say innovative,
Useful.
I get a kind of compassionate vibe off of
Thank
Dylan.
you.
Like, yeah, he's kind of a goofball and maybe not as serious as some of the other doctors, but he strikes me as someone who cares about his patients a lot, even though we haven't seen him with a patient yet.
Nick. Yeah, whimsical is a negative tag. It's a strong choice, but I stand by it.
I think it's appropriate, especially if the vibe I'm getting off of Dylan is right, and he's kind of like the sort of doctor who would tell a really terrible dad joke to try and cheer you up at the worst time.
Yes. This is 100% Dylan's vibe. Dylan is 100% a, but other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, did you enjoy the play? Type guy.
It's the robot with the irreverent and maudlin switch from Futurama.
I gave myself the tag of the term.
Nice.
Sorry. That got me.
That's a good choice, especially for a nurse. So, all right. It's time for rumor and
Tripling
scandal.
down on mom vibes.
Mhm. The
Nurse
nurse who has
caregiver.
been working the longest of all of you.
Mm. Hey, some of my favorite side characters on ER fit that exactly. So, all right, let's do some.
I just wanted to go in a very opposite direction from Sophia.
Appropriate.
All right. Who is the absolute worst character I can start Lon Guyland's rumored affair with?
Oh no. Jodie Summers, maybe.
Absolutely. 100% Jodie.
Oh, let me get off the tab, I think.
Oh man, it would be extremely funny if Jody heard this rumor and was like, "Oh, I see he's into me. Maybe I'll shoot a shot."
We are really something about the switch to modern day has turned our sitcom dial all the way up, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, we're going for that medical comedy. And
Are we?
created
I
a-
thought we switched.
Oh, we did switch. Yeah.
See,
I
this
guess
is what
not.
happens, though. Whatever
like
the
that you-
tone that people
It still-
choose, we always
it
go
still
off.
says-
It's still medical comedy. We
yeah,
just
it's still
yeah.
medical comedy.
I recall there being some caveats to that. I
We
can't
Yeah.
we discussed switching, but
Yeah,
ultimately
discuss switching and changing or adding for
Oh,
a year
right.
later.
Yeah, the
My
upshot of
thing-
that discussion was we need to just like completely rewrite the options.
I need
Yep.
I need to overhaul the tone options slightly. Like I like the options that I have right now, but I either need to add more options or kind of revise the ones that I've got.
I think
I mean,
renaming
you're
could
doing.
go a long
If you
way.
only need to revise the tone option slightly, then you're doing better than I am with tone and Stita.
There. Also, whoever clicked out of row 5, I like that you just left it as Lon Guyland is having like the idea that Dr. Galland has sex is itself worthy of- Wait, Dr. Galland's getting some.
I said that as a joke,
Lon
because
Galland.
of the way he is, but
the.
I think it might be true.
Yeah, I've created the rumor Dylan Pierce is pursuing research into psychedelics because he's a frequent user.
Never on my office time. I don't make a secret about it.
Yeah, but if you get my son into drugs, it's not gonna
Oh,
be good.
can that be a scene we have? Not getting him into drugs, but giving him the correct dare speech.
I would kind of prefer if Phyllis doesn't know that he uses psychedelics, and that has to be a reveal at some point.
No.
Fair enough.
Sorry, it's just that that's I feel like scummy in a way that I do not want Dylan to be. And also, the man doesn't have a hobby.
True.
His hobbies
I like that.
getting high and playing the saxophone, I guess, is the two things we've established.
Playing the saxophone while high.
Has anyone ever played a saxophone sober?
There were
If they had
a
the
couple-
option?
There were a couple of classical sax people in my music program in undergrad.
Man, like I was.
They sound like fucking squares.
No, the classical sax people got high really frequently. I don't think they played while high, is the thing. 'Cause
Ah.
classical saxophone music is notoriously difficult.
I was just gonna say, like, I was imagining, perhaps Phyllis living in a condo, so like our neighbors must hate you.
It's the same song all the time. Na, 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 na.
But yeah,
You can't read music, okay? You got
But yeah, the sax majors were the only group within the school of music that did more pot than the guitar majors and the vocalists.
cool.
I
No, that
I'm-
tracks. They have lung capacity.
It tracks so hard.
I'm spreading the Lon and Jody one because I do think it would be funny to have Jody like get the wrong idea and start flirting with him.
Gotta give Lon more to do.
It would. I need more to do. I'm going to create a second rumor. All right. Dr. Santos is preparing a rival psychedelic study for the ethics board to review. This is the source of Dr. Galan's antipathy toward her.
Dylan on both sides of this rumor being like, what? What?
I like the idea that Dylan hears this room and is just like, Fran, how could you?
I don't know. I feel like
Like-
Dylan and Fran would get along.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dylan isn't fired up like, how dare she, the way that Lon is. Dylan's just like, I thought we were friends. Why do you want to kill my study?
We could have been You're telling me we could have been comparing notes this whole time? Come on.
All right, so I've created two.
I've created one spread one.
I'm gonna
Neckos.
spread the one about Dylan, because that could lead to some stuff with Aiden.
Okay,
If
so it
Aiden
sounds
hears
like
about this,
excellent.
I will
So it
eat.
sounds like
suddenly you're a lot cooler than I thought you were.
the funny thing.
I was
is
about
that-
to ask the question: How could Aiden possibly hear about this?
The
But
funny thing
we've
is,
set up a
Oh, yeah.
13-year-old in the OR. It's perfect.
Yeah. the funny thing
Sorry.
is, Dylan being cool is a huge part of why Aiden fucking hates him. It really comes off like Dylan is trying very hard. And
I'm trying to
very
try
hard-
less, but it's really hard.
Trying very hard is the least cool thing to a 14-year-old.
I know, but I'm trying to try less hard, but how do you even do that? I thought I was a chill guy.
So it looks like Diana still has an action left.
Yeah, sorry, I just got pinged from work.
If you spread the last one, we can have all spread rumors, and spread rumors have mechanical weight. in a way that unspread ones don't. So you would be doing a service.
Yeah, I think I'll start because I can't. I wanted to see if I can create one about Phyllis, but my mind is blanking. So,
Okay.
Phyllis.
I love spreading rumors because I don't have to create them, and also it's creating mechanical weight for them, and I'm doing a service.
All right. So that's rumor and scandal done, or fan theories, if you wish to think about it that way. What is being said on the message boards about this show by the fans? And yeah, we're going to do 24/7 epistolary.
Yeah,
If a channel does not exist for that already, I will create one.
it does. It's prescription pad. We
That's what
have never used it.
That's what I thought. I was surprised we didn't use it more in the 1867 period. I just ended up not having anything to say.
I
I actually
stuff
used
going
it.
on.
But yeah, Avatar. Unfortunately, it's finally near the
Yeah.
end. But yeah,
No big deal. This
That's good to
game,
hear, at least.
this game is very epistolary optional. So yeah. I just, with the players that I've had in the playtests, I've not had the heart to scrap it entirely. So, because I know most of the players I've had for this, I know really like epistolary. So, I think it is about time for us to wrap. If that's
What I
all
gotta
right
do,
with
Raz,
everyone.
is add more like hack-specific forms of epistolary
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
to make
thought about
it
that.
kind of fit in better.
Yeah, I've thought about that because it does sort of feel superfluous, but I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm not sure how to zhuzh it up and make it hack specific. I'll have to.
Our montages
I mean, is
the thing.
could you do something like the? Sorry.
Oh, in some of the previous games, I have used montages. Like, what does the opening credits look like for the scene? Like borrowing from Fight with Spirit, that sort of thing. So we didn't do an opening credits because I forgot about it because I was really tired. We could do a closing credits for the episode if y'all want.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. So first off, what do you think the music is like for this 2017 rendition of the show?
I feel like it's like a modern remix of the theme song for the 1867 version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of a synth jazz remix, like the
I
theme
was-
song to Saint Elsewhere.
I was also feeling synth jazz somehow.
Well,
It's got a
Chris,
very.
At least it at some point in it, Dylan plays along with
100%. There's a saxophone bridge in this song.
Well, let me show you the Saint Elsewhere theme, and you'll get what I was thinking about. This is. Oh, Neko's laughing because she knows it.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Saint Elsewhere was a medical drama in the 80s. It kind of.
Now,
Saint
is one of the ones I've seen somehow.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I didn't realize.
I've never.
you'd seen it.
I don't, off the top of my head, remember the theme song. I've only ever
Yeah.
seen like from the middle of the episode on cable.
Yeah, and it has synth jazz theme music, and it's great.
I
posted
mean, I
it in
do
the
know
chat.
a bit about 80s jazz, so I feel like that probably gives me some idea of what.
Yeah, this is a more low-key version of this. I heard exactly one bar of this theme song. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
It's like a little bit smoother.
Let's do for the montage for the closing credits. I think probably for the opening credits, it would have been scenes of your characters or our characters on the job at work, and the closing credits has a montage of our characters off the job, in their personal lives, kind of like the day shift, night shift phase thing. So I'm just going to go clockwise from who I have on the screen. Neko, what do we see of Phyllis in the closing credits, a scene in her off time?
I think I think we see like Aiden like coming back from somewhere and like slamming the door to get in and just like throwing his bag on the floor and like going to his room, and like Phyllis is like, we don't hear it, but like basically the vibe is like, Mister, get back here and pick up your backpack and take it to your room. And Aiden rolls his eyes, but does it?
Yeah, pick the board instead of leaving it in front of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Diana, what do we see of Fran in their off time?
I think I think it's them doing their research and doing their drafts for, the reason why they're at this hospital right now and such, and writing the notes, and occasionally just she's sometimes looking at like the last text message she sent Phyllis, which she had respected Phyllis's request and what Aiko had told her, but she keeps going back to it and it's like, nope, not gonna do it, and instead just sends like a photo to Aiko and such. But yeah, she's actually doing her research.
All right. Chris, what do we see of...
How many different like light up crystals does her room have?
More than should be normal, and it's not because she believes in that many. It's just that they're very pretty, and it gives a nice glow about her room.
On a scale of 1 to mall crystal shop, how many
God.
we talking here?
Maybe mall kiosk.
So you've just got a crystal corner.
Yeah, and with those little LED lights to make the colors pop,
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. I mean, other than seeing him just absolutely go to town on a saxophone, for some reason, the only thing I can think of is a deeply stupid sequence where he calls his mom in Minnesota, and we have like split screen mom, double split screen Uncle Sven, triple split screen someone's like Uncle Sven's wife, who actually is Swedish and a doctor somehow.
Okay.
I guess these are supposed to be next time on, but oh well.
They don't have to be next time on necessarily. They can be. They don't have to be. So I think for Lon, what we see is Lon kind of walking down the street with his hair down, picking up a bundle of roses, but trying to stow it discreetly under his jacket, like he has an overcoat. And so he's got this bundle of roses and he's trying to figure out a way to transport this thing in a low-key manner. Having difficulty. All right. I think that is a good point to end the broadcast. We'll do stars and wishes off screen. So, till next time.